So, my story tonight is about dreams and visions. And it would be really interesting if you would comment your dreams and visions, because it's really nice to write them out or talk about them, because it gives them life. And it's funny, for a long time, many years, probably started back in 2004 maybe. Yeah, probably around there. I started dreaming about a tiny house. Dreaming. Years went by. Never took the action step or inquiries about it, but I thought about it a lot. I guess I had other priorities, but it still stayed and lingered in my mind. And then in 2016, I started thinking more about it. In 2017, I think it was 2017, 2018, about a property and a flatbed trailer. Plunked it on the property, let it sit there for over a year or so, to almost 2 years, and was too busy to get there and start doing something. I was always torn between these two worlds, actually three. I was torn between my property, my job at the resort, and my apartment. And usually I would work from the time the snow melted till the snow came, or just was too tired for the last couple of weeks before the snow came. But every winter I would be drawing out tiny houses, a possession with tiny houses. But while I was paying off the property, so I wasn't feeling any of that. And then that dream came into fruition when I no longer had my property. Can you believe that? That's funny. And I got a shuttle bus prior to that. I thought nomadic was going to be the thing. But I don't really know if I'm a nomadic person. But I like the idea of having stuff geared up in case you have to just get up and go and be fully stocked. That's a good thing. Maybe I'm one of those weirdos that always likes to have a plan B and survivalism, or what if there's an evacuation, but I use it for art studio. But anyways, so yeah, the tiny house came into play when I pulled that trailer off the property and plunked it in the yard here and just kept looking at it going, I'd like to have space of my own, and I'm going to figure out a way to do that. And with strong will and determination and never giving up, that all came into action by helping others and salvaging and just keep taking one little step and one little action until I couldn't believe how quickly, with the help of my friend, to put this together. Yeah, it's like, wow, it's just amazing. Things that I couldn't even think I could afford or do just seem to just start coming to me. Oh, thought you might need this, or would you like to have that, or finding things, or taking a step of action and then going, oh my gosh, that's just too expensive, and returning it, and then next thing you know, looking on Kijiji and getting insulation for the entire place at the same cost as one bag of insulation. Can't believe that. I just could not believe that. I couldn't. But I believe it because the universe loves me. I think the universe loves all of us. But I think what's the difference is you have to have a dream that you want. And I don't think I wanted the tiny house as badly as I did until this last couple of years. Before it was, I don't know, other priorities or other thinking, or Maybe I really didn't want a tiny house back then. Maybe I just loved my apartment. Maybe I just was thinking about other things. I knew I wanted the land, but maybe I was thinking I had too many plans. When I think about it, I was going to build a house on a mobile trailer frames. Then had a bunch of ideas. I don't think I think when I moved here and just focused on what can I do with this flatbed trailer and made my focus channel right into just one specific thing. But I also had the attitude of, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Whatever. You know, if it goes, it goes. It doesn't, it doesn't. I'm just so fed up. I'm so fucking fed up. But I was neutral, and I was thinking how I really want a tiny house, and when I was really pissed off and frustrated. Yeah, so I don't know how to say it. So anyways, so my wishes and dreams have started with the one tiny house, and I made this plan for 3 tiny house floors, all joined together, with the second floor going across the back end. Yeah, so right now on stage 2, and I've been fortunate to have the opportunity for another trailer bed floor, and I'm just so grateful. So, but this year, no, just to tear down. Whatever happens, happens. I am not going to be doing what I was doing the last 2 years. Like, just going and trying to get it all accomplished in such short a period of time, amongst all the other things. But, yeah, I see it. I drew the plan out, and I have the big picture, and it's going to be very nice when it's finished, but I'm in no rush, and if it happens sooner, that's great. If it happens within, before 2026 is when I'm hoping it will be finished, by the winter of 2026. That'd be fabulous. And it's built in a way that all the pieces come apart, and they're individual units. Everything's modular. Everything's like, yeah, it's just cool. I can even change the way they go together if I wanted to. But yeah, I want it to be like 1, 2, 3 together, and a top lift, and it'll look like a big grain ship or whatever. I don't know. I always call this my shipwreck, because from a big clusterfuck of craziness, and it felt like I was shipwrecked and dumped into a pit, from some craziness from the past. Yeah. Yeah, I would have never thought that would have happened in the first place. Second of all, I would have never thought the second thing could happen in a million years. But the third thing, I was afraid to come here. I was afraid, but I was doing like some painting and helping. And I was struggling with my health, mostly because of being misunderstood and getting put on a prescription that caused more problems for me. But I can't help that I have a damaged vertebrae and some neck injuries. But anyways, I didn't need the other complications added in. But just the same, it goes to show that it doesn't matter what you've been through or what happens to you, or what anyone thinks for that matter. You can do anything. You can do. I've always been a person that, like, it's only when I listen to others that I get steered wrong, or why would I? Well, sometimes we just get so, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Or something happens where someone else is called into position, and then you, okay, well, I guess they're here for a reason. I don't know. But yeah, it won't matter. Nothing matters, because that's just a moment, and that's just a moment. It sometimes seems like a long time, or it sometimes seems like it's never going to come together, or how much longer, but eventually it does. And sometimes it goes faster than you could ever imagine, and sometimes there's reasons for the things you go through. I mean, where I live here now, staying with these two wonderful people for 3 years. I never thought I could live with people. Um, After all those years since I was 16, that I hadn't really lived with people. I mean, I've lived with people since then, but you know, like family people, like working like a team, and yeah. And these people are so nice. Manners and kindness and understanding and cooperative functioning, and caring. They care about people, and help people, and yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's just, I never thought I could do this. Yeah, because back before I moved in my apartment, I was done with people, except for my job. I loved the resort I worked at and the people there. I considered them my family for a long time. But when I went home to my apartment, that was my time. And then I was separate and cut off from the world, sort of thing, other than online interaction. I just became a hermit and studied and rested, and yeah. And I enjoyed that too. I enjoyed those 10 years in my apartment. I grew a lot. But yeah, I grew a lot here in the last 3 years. That's the skills that I needed. And like I said, I guess there's reasons for everything. I remember it was so hard. Now, I don't know if I want to go. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. And then I said, okay. Yeah, sure. Time is going on, and it's like, I needed those skills. I needed to trust people again. That was the biggest thing. Trust people. Trust that no matter, that you're accepted completely for who you are. You could have a flip out. You could, yeah, not be at your best. Oh, you could, like, health too. I mean, sometimes you just can't be your best or your greatest potential. And they just accept you anyways. They think you're wonderful. And they go, oh, you're just having a day. All right. We all have those days. It's, I'm not used to that. I come from places where you got to be perfect. You got to get A's. You got to be, yeah, you always got to do to please. I mean, some of the stuff I whine and complain about, oh, no days off, blah, blah, blah. Well, some of it's my fault. I mean, I really should just say, no, I don't want to, or you should have checked in with me first, or, I didn't sign up for that, or, maybe if you would have gave me a day break between, before you told me about this, or whatever it is. Yeah, so some of it's my fault. I need to learn to, even with the greatest whatever. And I think that's what it is, because that's another thing I do. Because the people are so, so nice and so wonderful. How can you say no? Or they tried hard for you, so I gotta go try harder to reciprocate and say thank you back. But the thing is, my physicality isn't the same as theirs. Yeah, some days, Joey, much older than me, just could outdo me, and the other person they can go like the Energizer Bunny all day. Do you ever get tired? Oh my God, Do you ever take a day off? Like, oh my God. Yeah, so that used to be me when I worked at the resort. And that ain't me no more. And sometimes, but that's good learning for others too. I mean, you can't expect somebody to be like yourself or vice versa. It's like you start to learn that everybody's different, and the differences are good. Yeah. So yeah, we've been through some stuff here recently, and yeah, more transitions, and yeah, but it makes you realize life's short, and you gotta live your dreams, and don't keep putting them off. Anything's possible, even if you're broke as can be, or your health is deteriorated, you're sick. It's funny, if there's something you really want, or you can't stop thinking about it, or, I mean, material things are easy. Yeah, just take a step toward it. I remember even wanting to buy a truck. I just made a phone call, asked about it, went and looked at it. I mean, that tells the universe that you're serious about it. Yeah, with a lot of things, just go, take a look at it. Sometimes things happen, like next thing you know, you go to the store, you buy a lottery ticket, you win some money, you can get it. Or some windfall comes through, or maybe not that truck or thing. Maybe you're going to look at another thing, like my last trailer bed, for example. So I was gonna go look at another person's trailer bed and was gonna buy it, figure out a way to pay for it, and then someone else had come along and said, "I didn't know you were looking for that. We got one. We were gonna bring it to the dump or whatever." It's like, no way. I can't believe that. And that was able to help get the floor on there. Yeah, talking about your dreams, taking action in your dreams. That's all sometimes it takes, you know? Yeah. And so if you're, I was thinking, okay, so if I got this manifesting down pat and this love, magnetic, whatever, happening sometimes, it's just a matter of time for my business to take off. It is. I just know it. I don't know, it's crazy. But, it takes, you gotta give it time. And you gotta put effort into it. You can't expect it to just happen overnight, or without even putting any thought toward it, or, some kind of feeling toward it, or some kind of action, inquiry toward it. Yeah, so I'm gonna start working on a little dream board and writing out some stuff. I wrote a post tonight about, how you like the next year or whatever to turn out, or if you have problems or something, well, how, instead of looking at them as problems, how would you like to see it come into play, or how do you imagine it if it didn't exist and it was perfect? Yeah, that kind of thinking. Go to sleep with a vision in your head. But every night I go to sleep with this 3-alarm trailer thing in my head. And I can see, I sit in that upstairs, that we have this 8-foot section, cube. And then the next section is like 16 feet by 12. And I can see myself sitting up there. I'm writing and drawing on my coffee table, sketching, reading books. I got them all piled on the coffee table, and I got, almost like a section all around it, and I can see it out the windows onto the lake. Yeah, I fall asleep in that dream, especially lately. Yeah. But I am so grateful for what I have right now. I put those lights up tonight, and the way the addition lights up, I didn't think I needed that addition, but I knew I needed the wood stove for the winter. But I was in no rush for that. And I really am grateful for this space. I can't believe it. Like, this was perfect. I mean, it was awesome. This one tiny house part. Um, it's like a little ship. It's got the loft and the stairs going up, and the back end. I used to ship keep on. My ex-husband used to be work and would caretake the grain boats, and I stayed on a grain boat, and you know how they have that long grain area, and then the back end is all high with a wheel well space up there. That's what my office feels like. I was originally thinking, a while back, a pirate ship. Yeah, so this is my ship, and I'm really excited. I'm so grateful about this, and I can't believe how much I appreciate the way it turned out, and I appreciate Candy for the time helping me do this. Candy really is good at building things, and it just come together so amazing and so fast. Like, I didn't even know this time around if we'd get it done on time. But yeah, it was a really hard summer, but it got us through, like, through some really emotional turmoil and unexpected events and things that, yeah, loss and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. 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 Anyways, but I have gratitude every day, and there's it, even when you lose something, it's not really lost. It's still all around you. Yeah. So, you have a good night, and work on your dream board and your dreams and your visions, and keep yourself in the positive, forward moving focus. But be present and do everything in the now, because that's the only place you can act or do any kind of action is in the now. Yeah. It's weird these days. This illusion of life sometimes is crazy, it's 10 o'clock again at night, or I don't know what time it is, but so was it yesterday. What was I doing then, now? It's probably somewhat similar, but you always want to change it up. You don't want to have the same day over and over again. Yeah. How do you make it different so that you get different results? Even just something else different. That's why routines are hard for me. But sometimes they're good for some things. But they kind of keep you stuck in that thing. Yeah. Depends what you want to be stuck in, I guess. Like, it's okay to be stuck in this tiny house. I don't feel like it's stuck. It's awesome. But some stuff you want to get unstuck from. Yeah. But that's what discomfort is good for. Sometimes you've got to go through some hard stuff because you weren't motivated enough when you were comfortable. So I think sometimes the universe puts things can happen to make you grow, or to help you. Like, okay, let's say I was getting to the point, well, I remember I was looking at a shuttle bus. I was even contemplating selling my property, and I had picked the shuttle bus out, and yeah, so you gotta watch what you're thinking too. I mean, it'll shift you, and in ways sometimes that you're not prepared for, and it'll rattle you, but you will get what you want, but not in the way you would have expected, or yeah, so it's good to kind of like plan it, um, plan it, see it with the transition happening, if you can. Yeah, because you don't know what it's going to throw. If you're really strong about something, really strong thinking about something, but kind of like taking for granted the thing that you are currently living can sometimes screw things up too. Like, I don't think we really, I never took my apartment for granted. But I knew I was starting to get to the point where 10 years was long enough. I wanted to get to my property. But yeah. Anyways, wishes and dreams and visions. Sketch it out. I did a video, if you look back on my YouTube, about journal manifestation or multimedia manifestation. It's incredible some of the things that I drew out and wrote that, I don't know, some came fast and some took longer, but it's like, no way, that, all these things, unbelievable. Yeah. Alright, good night, happy 2025, off to a good start.